Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to look at the 2023 predictions for Mithuna Rashi or Gemini mean individuals. Let me start the video by wishing you a very happy new year. I have given all the 12 houses that are there in astrology and also the significations for each of the house as it is relevant for Gemini Rashi. Starting with first house, this is where moon is there in your horoscope, right? Which is why you are called as Gemini moon or Mithuna Rashi. The second house, third house, so on and so forth are given, and what they stand for are also indicated. So by looking at it, you can understand the area of life that is going to be in focus beyond what I'm going to speak while presenting the predictions, right? So let's go into the 2023 predictions. I want to begin by saying that in the last 2.5 years, Gemini people, Mithuna Rashi people have lost a lot, have undergone significant troubles, in their lives. Saturn's transit that is going to happen in January is a big relief to them. Okay. So the predictions I am presenting considers not only Saturn, but also Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu are shadow planets that are considered in Indian astrology. Other planets are not considered because they spend very little time in a house, right? Saturn spends 2.5 years in a house, Jupiter spends 1 year, Rahu Ketu spends 1.5 years. So the opportunity for these planets to create significant impact is higher with these planets. We don't consider outer planets like Pluto also, right? So with that, let's start with the Saturn transit, the one that Gemini people have been eagerly looking forward to. This transit is going to remove the bad luck that you have been experiencing the last 2.5 years, right? It's going to go away. You will get a chance to rebuild your life, at least to a limited extent. And if your horoscope is good, you will get back all the things that you have lost during the 8th house transit. Okay. Again, to the extent possible, right? Why I'm saying extent possible is many of the Mithuna Rashi people have lost close, near and dear ones, right? So death is permanent in this world, right? You can't get it back. But material possessions, money lost, businesses lost, you can get to a limited extent, right? So at least the positivity will return to you, right? You will start feeling more energetic. That is Saturn's transit to you. Okay. The even better transit for Gemini people is the Jupiter transit that is happening on 23rd April 2023. Okay. So Jupiter is going to move from 10th house to the 11th house, which is the house of gains. We all want gains in our lives, right? Who doesn't want gains? Even if you don't have gains, you can save more. Let's say you're going to a nearby shop and you're trying to buy something. If you bargain, the shopkeeper is likely to give to you at the amount that you ask for when Jupiter is in the 11th house. Even a higher bargain amount is a type of savings, right? It's a type of gains, right? So that's what you can experience during 11th house. If your natal horoscope supports, you can experience significant gains, when Jupiter comes to the 11th house. From 11th, Jupiter aspects the third house of courage, which is very important in life, right? Fame, action, all these things are positively influenced by Jupiter in 11th house. And Jupiter is coming to a place where Jupiter considers Aries as its friend, right? So it's coming to its friend's house. So it's not like Jupiter is going to be in a troublesome area. Of course, Jupiter is going to come close to Rahu for about nearly 2 months, but barring those 2 months, you can expect a lot of good things, to happen in your life, right? From 11th house, Jupiter will aspect the 5th house, right? Of children, intelligence, creativity, right? Speculation, all these things you can see gains, right? And of course, from 11th, Jupiter will also aspect the 7th house, right? Which is the house of relationships, with your significant other. like husband and wife and all that, right? So all round 11th house transit is considered extremely good, and you will feel it starting April itself. For a couple of months, May and June, Jupiter comes very close to Rahu, right? During those 2 months, you may feel a bit off, but nothing major to worry. The fact that Saturn has moved away from 8th itself is a big, big, big relief. Okay. Words cannot express what you have gone through. So many Gemini people have come and taken, astrological help from me. I know the trouble you have gone through, right? That is why I'm emphasizing this even more. So this is a huge, huge relief for you moving 8th to 9th transit. In fact, the Saturn transit in 9, 10, and 11 eventually is generally considered good. When Saturn moves over 12, 1, and 2, we call it as 7.5 years, Sade Sati, right? But this 7.5 years is considered something good, okay? But let's worry about what is there for 2023. 2023 is going to be a year of rebuilding joy in your life, okay? Some of you may get married, may meet your significant other, settle down in a relationship, get a new job, start a new business, start seeing profits in your business after a long time, okay? All those things are possible with 11th house Jupiter. At the very least, as I said, you will get a better bargain, okay? At the very least, your expenditure will come down. At the very least, you will feel happy, right? That's 11th house Jupiter for you. Rahu Ketu, Rahu is moving from 11th to 10th, and Ketu is moving from 5th to 4th. Okay. Whenever Ketu moves, Ketu brings an element of aloofness, loneliness, kind of frustration and dejection, right? So all those things could come to the fore starting October, right? Jupiter is in a good position, yes, but Ketu coming to 4th house is not good. Your relationship with your mother side relatives could be strained. Your happiness could also take a beating. Okay, so please keep that in your mind. Okay, that is from October onwards. But nothing is going to get out of hand like what happened in the last 2.5 years due to Saturn in 8th house. Saturn is now in 9th house, which is considered good, no? Okay, the fact that Saturn is not in a bad place itself is good news, right? And Jupiter is coming to 11th house, which is an even bigger, better news, right? So it's like icing on the cake. So don't worry about small issues that keep cropping up, in your home front or with your mother or with your vehicle, okay, or with your profession for that matter. It's going to come and go, but nothing major like what you had when Saturn was in the last 2.5 years. So this is a year in which you rebuild. This is a year in which you see some gains. This is a year in which you see light at the end of the tunnel. Many of you saw that light in December month itself. You will see more of that light in 2023. Okay. So what I have presented thus far is kind of a generic prediction. From now, I want to introduce some element of specificity in predictions. For that, I have looked at the planets that may be in your natal chart already in the 9th house. So when you are born, if there are planets in your 9th house, the transit Saturn, right, the Saturn that comes from 8th to 9th will combine with the planets that are already in your 9th house and give you some specific results. You may ask, what if there are no planets? So whatever I'm going to say is not that much applicable, right? So let's start with Jupiter Venus. For people who have Jupiter and Venus, significant material gain. Okay, it's like the roof of your house opened and the wealth started pouring in. Okay, that's how much money you can expect, right? It's a hugely positive thing. Hugely positive thing. If you have Mercury, you can get to start new ventures, like start a new startup, okay, or export import business, new venture. All those things Mercury can help. At the same time, watch your speech, because Mercury is the planet of speech, right? Planet of communication. You could be misunderstood very, very easily, and what you speak could trigger a war of words. So watch, okay, what you speak. The next one is Saturn. If Saturn is already there, transit Saturn is coming and it is influencing the Saturn that is already there. What if Saturn is already there in 9,000 horoscope? You are likely to be 30, 60, or 90 years of age, or somewhere closer to that. How do I say that? A planet takes 2.5 years, Saturn takes 2.5 years to cross one Rashi. and there are 12 Rashis. 2.5 into 12 is 30. That's why I'm saying, right? So if what if Saturn is there? Significant change. A change for which you will have some significant memories. What I'm trying to say is during change, we always think, hey, why did I even aspire for a change, right? When the change is happening, we aspire for a change, and when change starts happening, we tend to think, hey, the past itself was so much better, right? We get used to even sufferings in life. So change is difficult. So just like how this butterfly, before it became butterfly, it was an insect, right? So it is like a new Janma, new life, right? How much it would have gone through during the change. That is how much you could experience. Say you got a job promotion, good salary hike, but you move to a totally new city in which they speak a different language. And if you are married, you have to arrange, education for your children. It's about getting admission in a new school, getting a new car, right? All those things are overwhelming for people, which is why I said we aspire for change, but when the change happens during the changeover period, we do not want that to happen, right? We kind of resist change. It's human nature. That's our design problem. We cannot help it, but you will have to go through that painful process of changeover. Okay, and that's what you're going to experience. You may remember this changeover period even after 10 years or so. That's Saturn, natal Saturn plus transit Saturn for you. What if there are Rahu, Ketu, Mars? Okay, and next we are going to consider Sun as well. Rahu, Ketu, Mars, Sun. If any one or more of these planets is there, Saturn feels extremely uncomfortable because Saturn considers all of these people as enemies, right? Saturn considers Sun and Mars as number one enemy. If you go to the house of your number one enemy, how will you feel? You don't feel comfortable, no? You will feel irritated, you will feel angry, the need for revenge might come out, right? And in impulse, you may also shout at that person or maybe give a tight slap, right? We are all humans, right? Difficult to control emotions sometimes. Okay, that's what could happen. Mars is there, fight of some nature. Ketu is there, break of some nature, right? Whatever exists, break, stop. And Rahu is there, lack of recognition. Rahu and Saturn are similar. Rahu is a dark planet, Saturn is also a dark planet, no? So if two dark planets are there, it's not a good thing. Ketu is like Mars, I've already told you, right? So if Sun is there, you could expect even a promotion in job because Saturn plus Sun is indicated for government jobs, top position, and such things. But at the same time, it can trigger ego clash with your superiors, father, government entities, right? Let's say you got you were there as a senior manager, you have become a vice president of the company. Suddenly, you got even a double promotion, let's say. But your manager feels you're a lousy vice president. How does it feel? Or you are just a supervisor, you have become a manager. The senior manager to whom you report thinks very poorly of you. How will you feel? That senior manager even throws office papers at you. Yeah, you become a manager, but your senior manager throws paper at you. How will you feel? That's Saturn Sun for you, right? So these are all specific things I have taken over and beyond what is there as a general prognosis, right? So 2023 is going to be an interesting year, a year in which you rebuild your life, right? And I wish you the best of luck. Happy New Year once again. Thank you.